Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the resetters. Its 5-year mission: to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, Rick.
That's the best introduction we've had so far on the podcast show. So happy to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
We're going to take a little break right about now.
I'm pretending this is like the beginning of the podcast.
Oh. We're going to
So
take a
put
break
that
anyway.
Okay, we'll take a break.
I just got here, guys.
Hello, my name is Dan.
Hello, my name is Devin.
An erudite electrician named Elliot.
This is already getting pretty
Wait.
sci-fi.
Wait,
An erudite electrician was electrocuted with alacrity.
Oh my god.
Wow.
That was nice.
You have
That was
beautiful
eloquent.
elocution.
That was
Is it?
eloquent.
No,
Have you ever
Pop,
seen
pop.
Have you ever seen Hamilton?
No,
You haven't seen Hamilton?
I don't watch much.
The play?
No,
Oh my god.
I don't. There's a lot of stuff I don't watch. I'm too busy watching reruns of Star Trek.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
This
for the
isn't-
50th time.
Save that for
Okay.
for the actual recording. I don't know if this is making it on. I don't know what makes
That's
it.
right. I hope not.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like a perfectionist anyway, but sometimes when you don't, actually, when you try not to be perfect, you get little nuggets of when you're real, and that's when it's
Yeah.
actually best.
yeah.
But then you say things that you shouldn't actually be saying in public or on any mediums
Well,
whatsoever.
because that's the thing. It doesn't need to be perfect to be real and to be beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
An erudite electrician was electrocuted with alacrity.
Oh god, that's the worst combination of words. Beam me up, Scotchy. Beautiful. Thank you. All right. Shall we actually start this podcast now that we're
Cool.
all
I'm warmed up.
all warmed up?
My body's ready.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you for bringing me. Well, I brought
Oh,
myself here, but
The hum is
I
gone.
thought you were
Oh, yeah.
beamed here.
You were beamed
I should
here
have.
from the.
well, you never know. I might have, and just didn't tell you about it.
Yeah,
It's
Is
a
that
new
the-
form of public transport.
I got beamed.
Oh.
That sounds. It sounds bad. It sounds like a something negative. I got beamed the other day.
Yeah, I got beamed up.
I got
Without
beamed and I
consent.
totally wasn't ready.
Unconsensually beamed up.
Yeah. Can you do that on Star Trek? Can you just beam someone up without them wanting you to do it?
Yes.
Actually, we'll go out. Yeah, that's a good question because like, on Star Trek, how does the beaming system work? Is it like, do they have some sort of implant in them?
No, actually, it's the ultimate reset because some people are saying that, like, once you're turned from your body, oh gosh, they didn't really. I mean, ultimately, they designed transporting in Star Trek because it was much cheaper than putting a spaceship on the planet. So they didn't really explain it. They're just turning you into energy and then turning the energy back into matter again. Kind of like in the beginning of the solar system, energy was turning into matter. And I mean,
Yeah,
the
Do you
universe.
have to like accept the beaming though? Like you get a notification.
That's what I
like,
want to know. Like,
Scotty wants to beam you up right now.
Yeah, oh,
Do
shit,
you
okay,
accept?
yeah, I gotta beam 'em up.
Well, Into Darkness, like a lady was being beamed and she tried to run out of it.
Ah.
So, but I've seen people sort of like
And what
push their
happened?
arms out of the beam and then it can cause, it's like putting metal in the microwave. It's just, poof,
Pops.
yeah.
Oh, gross.
Well, so like half of her got
You
beamed
can,
up.
yeah, you can have like a nasty transporter accident. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh,
And you can be
transport.
beamed into like a bit of the wall or stuff. That's why you try to not to, nasty accidents.
So it's not a. It's
you
not
can
a
be
flawless,
beamed halfway
Yeah.
through the floor.
It's not a
Yeah.
flawless science, is it?
Just half your body just going, hey guys, this is not acceptable. This is the second time this week that you've beamed. Where are my legs?
Are you sick of sitting in traffic on your way to work? Get Beamer. Beamer takes you right from your living room straight to the office in less than 3 seconds flat or your money back. Beamer.
Beamer cannot be attributed for anything that have to do with lost body parts or anything that go on the other side of. You also can't guarantee where you're going to go. We can't guarantee it.
In case anyone wonders why we're suddenly talking about beaming
Oh yeah.
in Star Trek, we're going to introduce today's guest.
Yeah, we haven't actually done an introduction.
Oh, whoops.
Rick, Ricky Didham. Ricky Didham.
Ricky Didham.
Ricky Didham.
Did Ricky do him? Ricky Didham.
The head of New Zealand Star Trek fans club.
The head. That has a that sounds so formal, but
It's a
really
hell of
it's
a
just
title.
a bunch of like nerds, you know,
Who really likes Star Trek?
arguing over
King of the nerds.
What the
King of
the
the
Star
nerds.
Trek
We are
nerds.
planning a great uprising.
I'm gonna go ahead and get the question out of the way. Picard, right?
Actually, Janeway's my favorite captain.
Ah,
yeah,
Huh.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
even
'Cause
one of the ones. Yeah,
Shatner.
No, Picard.
Okay.
Picard is probably a better captain
Picard is a better captain.
because he
Ah.
just makes he has got an aristocratic authority and an English civility to him.
Yeah.
Even though he's French, you know, he's quite sort of. I don't want to say pompous. He can come across as a wee bit pompous, wee bit stuck up, wee
Yeah.
bit, you know. But you kind of also need that. Like you can't be a Captain Kirk just screwing all the female leaders on each planet all around, leaving little bastard children scattered all
That
over the
was
galaxy.
His problem. Yeah,
It's
I wonder how
not
many children
nice.
he actually had in the end. I don't know much about Star Trek, but
But
I
like,
need to know
yeah.
about that.
Yeah, Kirk was here. We've got several babies.
Yeah.
Picard's gay in real life too, right?
No,
No.
I
No?
don't think so.
What?
No, I think.
Oh, the other guy
and
is
he's
gay in
very
real
good
life,
chums.
No.
No, the Asian one.
Oh no,
George.
yeah, Sulu. Yeah, George Takei.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
George
Yeah,
Takei.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh my.
What's Picard's name?
Hello, it's George Takei here. Oh my.
Oh, I'm thinking of his other friend, Ian McKellen, or
Yes.
Gandalf.
Yeah,
Yeah.
best
Gandalf.
friend,
Yeah,
best
Gandalf.
buddy.
His
And who
best
knows?
friend.
They might have had a couple of wines one night.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? And we're not here to judge. That's completely between them two. That's completely between them.
Yeah, we're only here to judge things that happen in the Star Trek world. I heard
Yeah.
they wanted to have gay characters on early on in the Star Trek shows, but
Oh,
the
yeah.
original
Yeah.
producer
Yes.
was like, no way. We're not
Yeah,
doing that."
hell no. Yeah, like George Takei sort of mentioned it to Gene Roddenberry, who was like, do you think we could? Oh my. And Gene Roddenberry was always, in the shit for, he was always trying to slip things past the censors.
Yeah.
So if you make them polka dot aliens and he can talk about, social issues at the time, and the censors won't realize it. They were too busy going,
yeah.
we can see her belly button. Can you cover her belly button, please? We
Yeah.
don't,
Yeah,
you're going
yeah.
to destroy the fabric of society if we see her belly button. So they're covering it, and then they don't actually realize that the moral or the theme of the story was civil rights.
Right,
Yeah.
Too busy worried about the belly button.
Oh,
They
they're
were
still
ver-
like that today. Oh, you still can't show nudity, but you can show like hundreds of people being murdered. That's fun.
Drink it all up. Drink in my performance, guys.
But you would only play Spock.
Yeah.
That's your guy.
I do make a reasonably good Spock.
It's just so cool. And he directed a bunch of them too.
He did, and then
Oh, yeah.
did a really good job of it. And then William Shatner was like, how come he gets to direct 2 films? I want to direct a film now. No, I will. Otherwise, I'm not doing it again. And then he directed like a fucking most terrible Star Trek film ever,
Right. Which
ever
one was
done.
that?
Star Trek V: The Final Frontier.
The Final Frontier. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta watch that one now.
Oh, it's just.
I heard he never
Oh.
watches anything that he's in either.
Well, that's probably how he could not register that what he was making was absolute shit.
How does he keep getting work?
I don't know,
He's
Well,
the voice, I think.
I guess once you've got an established reputation as being as carrying a
Yeah.
franchise,
Well,
which he did,
yeah,
he carried it from the
that's
early
right.
stages too.
And this is before Star Wars, before any of the stuff. There was the original Star Trek TV show, which
Yeah.
must have just blown people's minds back in the day.
Yeah.
The world was waiting, wanting this
Sci-fi experience. Yeah.
exploration of space.
Yeah, and there were other shows at the time like Lost in Space and Land of the Giants, which were very
yeah.
monsters and Dr. Smith and
Family centric.
not really intellectual sort of stuff. But there was a lot of shit in Star Trek as
And
well.
this is the first
Terrible
one
episodes.
this is the first sci-fi show that actually portrayed a positive outlook for the future.
Yeah.
Like it
This is-
showed a utilitarian view of the future. They had gone so far that they could explore out
Yeah.
into space. And
Yeah.
It's actually the only sci-fi or any movie I can think of that is set in a utopian future.
Yeah, it's not post-apocalypse,
Which it
or
always
like in the
is.
middle of a war, or like
50 years after the
colonization
nuclear war.
really even isn't happening in this particular like a lot in Star Trek as far as I know.
Yeah, because they're only sort of colonizing places that aren't already inhabited
Yeah.
by
Oh,
less.
they're still colonizers though.
Oh yeah, but they're
Oh, yeah,
colonizing
but-
savage lands.
Yeah, savage by
wait a minute.
they have the first
History.
first contact protocol, so they don't have contact with any civilizations which had have not developed warp drive yet.
Is that the rule? That's why, like, the
Yeah.
Vulcans originally weren't going to come to Earth.
That's cool.
Because they were like, humans are too primitive.
Yeah.
But then they saw that they had created
Space, faster, faster,
light travel.
yes.
And they were
And
like,
they're
okay, light travel is the sign that they have evolved, and now we're going to visit them.
They're going to start
That's
try
pretty
to start colonizing everywhere. Maybe we should have a word with them and tap them on the shoulder and go, "Hey, so we heard about your plans.
There's a lot of us out there.
Yeah, we're worried that you're going to
Yeah.
visit us soon.
We'd prefer if you didn't fuck
Can
shit
you
up.
not? We've kind of been here, like, yeah."
I wouldn't, like, if I was an alien and I've learned that humans on Earth had got the ability to, like, travel faster than the speed of light, I would be worried for the other planets. you
Knowing
know?
humans?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
they'll be
know?
like, "What? They've developed? Oh shit!
Should we
Oh,
blow them up?
God,
Or
not
should we try
that
to
lot.
talk some sense into them?
This is the end. This is the end for all of us.
yeah."
We're all going down. I mean, there's so much about Star Trek that I don't know. I'm more of a Star Wars
let's
person.
start with
Yeah, I love
your
Star
story.
Wars.
You're the head of Star Trek fan clubs in New Zealand. Tell us.
How did you get to that position? How did you get?
Oh well, I just murdered the previous leader.
Oh yeah, so it's
Yeah.
Highlander
Yeah,
rules.
Yeah,
Okay,
just
cool.
snapped up behind him, got my Klingon bat lethal,
Okay, cool.
and then
Is there a traditional Klingon fighting?
yeah. And we have Star Trek music playing in the background, and yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
I only know Star Wars.
I think I just said, "Hey, let's open it up on Meetup, and I'll pay for it." And then they were like, "Okay, do you want to?" So then I just did it that way. But I actually stood back from the Star Trek group as its organizer because the guy before me, he had just retired, and it was like, he could actually do, he's got more time on his hands, and I need to focus on other stuff like my own well-being, and it was taking up a lot of my time. So I was like, this is a perfect time
So
for
you
you
want,
to
you're
do
like
it.
not the organizer anymore, but
No.
you're still the head.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'll just give him evils and just go, you better
Yeah.
watch yourself, boy.
I'm still the boss, though.
Yeah,
I still greet the people and do the people pleasing.
that's good.
Oh, you do? Oh, you still
Yeah.
turn up?
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
All right. Yeah.
yeah.
You're the captain.
Yeah, kind of. It's funny and like in our
Spock
little
should be
geek
captain
things,
anyway.
Like, yeah, but then again, he's not the ego of the Captain Kirk was always the ego of the top three. He was the ambition, the passion, the unbridled.
Right,
like
yeah,
we should go
yeah.
here and go here and go here, and I'm in charge. And
And
that
what,
was the
Spock would just be too logical and be like,
Too
Spock's-
smart about it.
Spock doesn't actually
we should
care
just
to.
plant stuff on this planet, maybe. or-
He's
Yeah,
smart
Spock's-
enough to know to not to be captain.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
important to him.
Yeah.
He's not of the he's not of the type who's like, he's not like, don't you tell me what to do.
Yeah, that's a very
He's
human
not like
thing
that.
to
He's
want
not-
to be captain. Maybe in the Vulcans, do they even have in their
Hierarchy.
society? Do they have a hierarchy?
I guess so. Yeah, just not ego driven. You're not doing it because you want to be the one bossing people
Right.
around. You're
Just
doing it
'cause you're-
because I've just been studying it for a hell of a lot longer and I'm a lot older and
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dad.
Elder system.
because so Kirk was always the ego. Spock was just like, well, I can just do my job. I don't need to be in charge. I can just enjoy what I'm doing. And if he likes bossing people around and gets a bit of a kick out of the prestige of being a captain, then
Yeah.
good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
know
who
he-
was the third?
And McCoy, who
yeah.
was he wasn't technically like rank wise, but he was the emotion, the passion, the compassion for. So his emotions can, he can get into a bit of a shitty about like. Throw a bit of a tantrum about how he doesn't like certain aspects of how people are being treated within a culture, and he'll jump up and down and things like that.
Is this the
And-
Doctor?
Yeah, the Doctor.
Right,
Because
yeah.
he's
the
a
foil
humanist.
to Spock, right?
Yeah, he's like, how can you turn a blind eye to this suffering on this planet? And because he's a doctor, he's a healer, he's always helping people. So,
Hippocratic, yeah.
but he doesn't have the clarity to be able to make
Too
decisions
emotional,
that can be
yeah.
like, do we let these people die or these people die? He just doesn't. He
Yeah.
don't want anything to do
He
with that.
doesn't have the ability to think utilitarian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he doesn't give a shit about fucking
The needs of the
bureaucracy.
many outweigh the needs of the few.
Yeah,
Or the one.
That's utilitarian.
That's what Spock says as he's dying. And,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I cried in that part, and then Shatner's like, of all the people I've met, Spock was the most human.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching Star Trek 2, 3, and 4, so that we had some, common reference to. But
I felt like I only really needed to see Star Trek 2.
Yeah, you got the gist of it.
Yeah. The rest is just fun, but Star Trek 2 was that was something special about that one.
Which one did I watch with you?
3.
3?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so that was not as good, but it did carry some.
Yeah, I heard in Star Trek that it's like all the films in even numbers are considered to be the better ones, like 2, 4, 6, 8.
Yeah. So Star Trek 2 got criticised because any time some new franchise comes out, they're always going, the Star Trek fans with pitchforks going, it's not real Trek.
What Star Trek 2? You mean, or the next?
Even
reboot?
Star Trek 2 had people going, it's too militaristic.
Yeah, well, the Star Trek 1, they're fighting a fucking cloud.
Yeah, right. Star Trek 1 it was not written well.
What were they fighting? Oh, we watched the one where they're fighting the cyborgs.
Yeah.
First Contact.
We figured out it was basically a zombie movie.
Yeah, it was kind of like it was kind of like a sci-fi zombie movie where it was good. I enjoyed it.
And then number 4, they fucking saved the sperm whales or something.
The humpback whales. Yeah, and like with First Contact, that was kind of before zombie movies and vampire movies came out. So at the time, it was like really exciting, really cool. Whereas now it would be kind of like, oh, this is like Walking Dead, but in space,
well, there was a little bit of a lackluster feeling about it because of that.
It's been done.
Yeah,
we've been seeing it so much.
Yeah. Been destroyed in common cinema.
Yeah.
But back then, I can imagine that being quite terrifying.
I was shaking, I was shaking like a leaf, and like because it's scary when
you first saw it in the 80s or whatever.
In '96 when I was watching it in the movie theater, I was like, "Oh shit! Star Trek's gonna like something that's really private and personal for me. That was just something that it was just as a geek, which I attached to, is now going to come into the mainstream." And I could see it as soon from the opening shot with that CGI and like pulling out from Picard's eye, and I was like, "Oh shit! Oh god! It's going to go into the mainstream. Right. What's going to happen?
This is too good."
I don't know. Yeah, so it's weird. Yeah.
Tell us about that. And tell us your little personal story about you and Star Trek.
Oh well, it was just kind of like as a nerd, person who really had no friends at school. The library was my place to go to.
Primary school or high school?
Probably more. Intermediate sort of high school, so like the library was my safe place where, bullies can't really beat you up in the library. I mean, they can, they just have to do it, they just have to quietly do it without the library, otherwise they'll get told to shush.
One guy's got the pillow on your face, the other one's fucking...
And the librarian's going, can you please beat him up a lot more quietly, please? People are trying to study over here.
People are trying to read. People are trying to read.
You're upsetting the nerds.
You're upsetting the other nerds.
So Star Trek was kind of like...
Wait, so they had Star Trek in the library?
No, well, they had books in the library, so I read a whole lot of adaptions of the original series. So I would just read these over and over. And then I eventually ended up connecting with other likewise nerds who didn't have many friends, trying to avoid getting beaten up. And then we had,
maybe if we join together,
we can hide. Okay,
you
hide
up
over
and
there
run in directions to confuse them.
I'll create a distraction.
Yeah, it's your turn to do that.
I was the same way. I was very nerdy when I was young. But I was the same way with Star Wars, pretty much, where I escaped into the library to read Star Wars, like the extended universe for Star Wars and stuff, and then I learned how to fight.
Yeah.
I used to just go in the libraries and look for nerds to beat up.
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
That was you that day at intermission.
I knew you looked familiar when we met each other, Dan.
I look for lesser nerdlings.
Lesser nerdlings. Everyone there was a nerd.
Well, we have our hierarchy amongst the nerds as well,
Yeah.
If you don't know all of the Trek trivia, then you get a pillow as well.
Oh, wow, Jesus.
Yeah. Very harsh now.
Trekkies are pretty low on the list, in my opinion. D&D fans are right up there at the top.
The what?
The D&D fans, the Dungeons and Dragons.
D&D's cool now, though.
Yeah, so cool. It's so nerdy that it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, geek culture has just changed so much now.
Well, it was Stranger Things. Was that the catalyst for that? Or?
I think so. I think that was like the nail in the coffin.
I like the story, though. So you're in the library, you find this Star Trek book, and you're like, oh, my God.
These are cool.
This is my jam.
Yeah. And when you read, like, because I'd seen those movies, 2, 3, and 4, and then as I was reading, like, the episodes and I imagined it with a greater production value than what actually was being shown. And so when I watched the 60s shows, like, I was like, oh gosh, how I pictured it in my head after watching the Star Trek movies. The episode had such greater, higher production value. I was kind of like, gosh, it's kind of hammy, and I can see, the strings, and that guy's wearing a suit.
Really, you can see the strings of the spaceship.
no. I mean, well, yeah, you can see the strings in some of the things. But.
Can you? Cool.
I've seen some pictures in my little bit of research that I've done for this podcast where it's very obvious that you're looking at a miniature set or something.
Yeah, like paper mache.
I prefer the miniatures like over the CGI.
Yeah, and I've
same.
kind of been like okay with it. Like it's kind of got an attraction to it. It's cute.
It is. And some of the over the top acting, and some of it has really good. It's funny. It's funny to laugh at. Because it's so hammy. And William Shatner is doing everything he can. He admitted himself just to get you to look at him. Yeah. So he would just do everything much bigger, much more theatrical, which meant that Mr. Spock, Leonard Nimoy, by contrast, would make his performance much more introverted, much more withdrawn, calm and much more minimal. Yeah. So the audience end up going, okay, well, William Shatner, we can see what you're doing over there. It's all over the top. But what's Mr. Spock thinking?
Yeah.
What's he doing? Did he just move his eyebrow a little bit? What does that mean?
What does it mean?
Yeah. I read somewhere, I don't know if it's true, that like Vulcans or Spock is like based on people on the autistic spectrum.
Yeah, a lot of people on the autistic spectrum really Spock appeals to them. A lot of the jokes were at his expense because he was kind of socially off cue. But I think he really did understand things. He was just choosing not to show his emotions because he has emotions, but he just keeps them buried.
Has he ever laughed?
I think it's
yes.
I think.
Yeah. No, he just showed extreme joy one time.
Oh, okay.
It was like Jim.
Oh, that's
and then he quickly reined in and he was like, oh my god. Yeah. Because you
control yourself, Spock.
Is it a natural instinct for Vulcans to control their emotions, or is it something that he has been trained to do?
It's a totally trained, because they had horrendous wars and they were a very savage, very emotional, very passionate species. And then they switched to logic to get them out of that, to stop killing each other.
They were basically like humans.
They were like humans, but, humans on acid, just going crazy, So they were very violent, very passionate. And then they had to, they couldn't do a middle ground. They had to completely reject emotion. And then they started looking into logical fallacies and study of logic and cognitive biases. And they were just very much focused on clarity of thought, and that's what they studied, so that they weren't.
Yeah, I remember reading like he had to go back to his planet Vulcan or whatever to do like emotional training or something to get rid of his emotions. Or
the Kolinar. Yeah, that's where you finally supposedly shed all of your emotions, but he couldn't do it because the big cloud creature was calling him to him from outer space, so he was kind of rejected.
And completely out of context, that sounds ridiculous.
Yeah. There was it was because he's half human as well, so he's not.
He's half human.
So
his mum is human.
His mother's human. So he kind of got rejected a wee bit because of being a half caste sort of thing. But which is kind of illogical when you think about it. But
I feel that hard. Half Mexican Native American and the other half is white. I've had like the issue of not being accepted in either one of the communities.
Right.
Like, I've had to convince people that I'm like Native American, being like, my last name's Herrera, my people are the Lipan Apache. Like, but your skin is white, and then I'd have to go to the white people and be like, my last name's Herrera, but I promise you I'm one of you also. So that really touches me. That really hurt. That really hits right here, right home. It hits home.
Yeah. No, I get what you mean as well. Because, I encountered racism because people thought I was Asian. They're like, let's try to run them over with our car.
Jesus.
What? Yeah. When you're walking down the street?
Yeah, sticking their head out the window, pulling their eyes, and just starting going, ching chong Chinaman. I'm like, fucking Maori. My God. Pat Maori.
Any kind of that is terrible.
Yeah.
But
I should just go, hey, can you not try to run me over, please?
But is
that why you identified with Spock partly. You're like, I don't know. Where
I
it's-
don't. No, yeah, kind of, because I encountered racism when I was growing up. You know, as a little kid. I mean, it's not particularly raw to me. I just
Sure.
But as I realized that I was kind of bisexual, gay, sort of. Well, I guess I'm pansexual. I realized that there's certain elements of me that I'm just going to have to keep to myself, and I'm just not going to show. You know, I'm not going to be doing my jazz hands and, you know, wearing
Keep yourself
a
safe.
pink. Yeah, because I don't want to get the bash sort of thing. So, and Spock is kind of, he has to hold his emotions and has to keep everything in check so that, well, just for the shame, because it would be shameful if he showed emotions. So, and some people have said that Spock not showing his emotions is similar to the old masculine side of things of being you talk, you
That
don't
doesn't
show
sound
emotion.
very healthy.
You don't show
Actually,
vulnerability.
yeah.
You don't cry. You don't. Yeah. You be like the the chill Western guy who's like.
But
But
that's
Yeah.
but I feel like Spock's just like he's still logical enough to be
Yeah.
like, no, being like a total masculine dickhead and not showing any care or empathy. That's illogical.
Yeah. So So his intelligence,
Yeah, intelligence. yeah.
complete. That's because that's not really attached to the toxic masculinity side of going. But I'm a huge intellectual, because Spock is actually a huge intellectual,
Yeah.
and that's, I guess, what he quietly prides himself on.
He's still like an empath in a way.
Yeah, just a
See,
a quiet.
He
empath.
gets the needs of the many outweighing.
in his
The needs
actions.
of the few.
He would
the
act
one.
empathically, but he would do it, not in a showman sort of William Shatner sort of like, look at me giving to the people. Look,
Yeah.
look, give me my award,
Hey, how come you didn't turn up today in your Spock suit
because I didn't want to get the bash.
on the bus?
It's nighttime, so I'm busing. So yeah, but
Hey, Spock and Shatner took the bus together in Star Trek 4.
yeah, that was
Did
that was
they?
pretty.
Yeah,
Did they just take the bus together?
Yeah,
because they got land on Earth and they realized they got no money.
Just take the bus.
Yeah,
I guess what else are you gonna do? Yeah, you're gonna take the bus.
there's this guy on the bus listening to punk music, and then Spock's like, "Could you please turn it down?" And he's like, "I'm gonna fucking turn it up." The song's called like "I Hate You." He just like reaches over and gives him the Vulcan pinch.
Oh my God, does he really?
Yeah,
Isn't that like a assault?
yeah. Everybody on the bus
Isn't that
claps.
assault?
Yeah,
Well,
but it
no,
was logic. Was it?
So-
yeah,
so this is one thing that really wants me to draws me to explore more Star Trek is how good they are at touching on subjects like homosexuality and cultural diversity and racism and bigotry in general.
yeah.
just
And-
having a cast of many different culture people,
yeah, having a
Wide diversity.
Russian in the fucking
Yeah.
in the room in the
Flying
the
in the
ship.
cockpit flying the
And
ship
a Japanese
during the
American-
Cold War.
during the fucking Cold War. Like
Yeah.
that's a big
Yeah.
a big thing for them to do. And this
And
is that's what
First,
draws me
they
in.
had the first on-screen interracial kiss.
Yep.
Shatner and Uhura.
Yes. Wow. Gosh, you have been doing. Yep.
Yeah, that's like the number one fact when you Google
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
facts of
that
Star
one's-
Trek.
everyone
the first one's,
knows
like,
that,
the
like-
first on-screen interracial kiss.
Yeah. And
Shatner and,
William Shatner deliberately just
fought for
screwed up all of his other takes
he
where
fought
he
for it,
didn't
yeah.
where they didn't land the kiss. He looked at the camera and crossed his eyes so that they couldn't use the take.
Yeah.
So just as they were shutting down the filming for the night, just as all the suits from CBS
Yeah,
were turning
yeah.
up and just watching. Okay, what's going on here? A what? He's going to what? So then William Shatner, the only good take that he does is the one where he lands one on her,
Yeah.
and then they're like, okay, gosh, we've got to go home
that
now.
looked pretty
have to
good.
keep
Oh
it.
wow. Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, well, it was just he kept pushing over and over again.
Yeah.
Whatever you say bad things about Shatner, like just for doing that.
Oh, he was a
I
great
should
guy.
have been
He's a
shot
great
originally.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He
Bad
he-
actor, but great guy.
Yeah, not a team player, but he carried the show. He had a freaking whole lot of lines to do, and he did his work.
Do you know he's
and carried
he's
it.
done a bunch of albums where he just talks the lyrics?
Oh god, probably better than what he would be if
What?
he sang.
Like
yeah,
he-
like he'll
music?
do. Yeah, like he'll take all these famous songs,
Yeah.
like even Bohemian Rhapsody, and he'll just be like,
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy?
head
Oh my god.
pulled my trigger.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and he's done like 3 of those. Like,
Because if you're William Shatner,
Your voice already sounds amazing.
That
You don't
sounds
need to be it. You don't need to
No,
sing
it's
it.
really bad.
You just need to be William
No.
Shatner saying it.
I don't even need to sing. Yeah.
I don't even need to be in tune. I can just say it because that's just how good I am.
Little off subject. Have y'all ever heard of lounge style music?
Yes, I love it.
So where they like take other kinds of songs and turn it into like classic 50s
Yeah.
lounge.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like postmodern jukebox.
Kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I love
yeah, like
postmodern
postmodern
yeah.
jukebox. Yeah.
Yes, I love.
Sorry, I
love
just
it.
had to talk about that because it's came into my head.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
Yeah,
Elements of the
absolutely.
past and elements of the future combined to make something not quite as good as either.
And Nichelle Nichols, Nichelle Nichols, Lieutenant Uhura, she sang and she toured with Duke Ellington when in the old series and that. And the old story is Martin Luther King came and knocked on her door.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and because she was just told, oh, Nichelle, somebody wants to come see you as a fan. And she's like, oh, yeah, okay. Turns around straight into the face of Dr. Martin Luther King. And then...
Because she wanted to quit the show, and he was like,
Yeah.
"You can't quit. We need strong black women on TV."
He said, this is the only show I let my kids watch because they're seeing like a black female, and she's not a maid. She's she's actually
She's running
part
the
of
fucking Starship Enterprise.
yeah
She's in the cockpit.
Yeah.
And that's not just an innuendo.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that it's called the cockpit. I hate that. There was like a,
No,
a
they're all
moment of
sexualized
silence
on the
there
show, though,
for a
right?
second.
All the women have to be like in kind of mini skirts with their boobs tight.
It's
Like,
still a product of its time. But the reason that they ended up wearing skirts because they were all in pants originally. But there was a lovely actress who unfortunately got kicked off, Grace Lee Whitney, and she was like, "I want to wear a skirt. I want to wear a mini skirt." So they put her in a mini skirt, and they were like, "You know what? We should put all the girls in
Everyone
skirts."
in
And
skirts,
and then that sort of caught on. So,
Yeah.
but it is a product of its
we should
time.
sexualize all the women.
Yeah, we should sexualize everyone.
And they did.
Everyone.
And guess what? And then the producer, was it Bradbury?
Gene Roddenberry, yeah.
Roddenberry.
He's
He's like, in the future, because it's a utopia, there's no more chest hair.
Yeah.
So no, everyone had to
Yeah.
shave their chest hair.
Really?
Except,
Yeah.
yeah. Except for there's Spock, and there's and Spock too, and Spock's like, I'll fucking quit the show.
I do not want ingrown hairs.
Nobody has any chest hair except for Spock, apparently.
That's
Is that right? Was it only Spock, or was it?
No, I've never heard that story, but I totally do trust that.
there's
that's
one
probably
character, I
accurate.
think it's Spock. That,
Yeah, because William Shatner
This is
definitely was
another one of
told
those-
he had to shave his chest.
Is
Yeah,
it
yeah,
another
'cause in
one
the
of those
future
weird facts.
they've got like you get radiation poisoning. They're like, oh, take this pill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like everything just has a cure.
Yeah.
Including like, oh, I got this fucking hair on my chest. Like,
Here you go. Take this. Take
Yeah.
this pill. Inject this into your ass 3 days.
Yeah, can
3
I
times
get
a
rid
day.
of the hair on my ass crack and have a bit of beard? I really don't need it there.
Exchange hair.
Can we
in
just
my body?
Can we just take them from there and then put them up there?
I'd love a nice beard. I'd love a nice big full beard.
Right? Who
Same.
wouldn't?
Get
Yeah.
rid of all the hair on my legs.
But the Star Trek thing is no one's allowed a beard.
Yeah, I mean, like with the hair thing, I mean that's why Gene Roddenberry didn't really want. One of the reasons why Gene Roddenberry didn't want Patrick Stewart because he didn't want a bald Englishman playing
Oh, it was Patrick Stewart who wouldn't shave his chest.
or wear a toupee. Because they
it?
did make
Oh,
him.
not sure.
They did
Oh.
make him audition like with a French accent and wearing a toupee, and then they were just like, yeah, no.
Oh, because they're like, we've cured baldness in the future.
Yeah, because the argument was they wouldn't have bald people
But
because
even saying the word cure and baldness is wrong.
Is it
because-
yeah,
weird?
exactly.
It's not like it's a disease. It's just
Yeah, and then the argument was, well, in the 24th century they wouldn't care whether you're bald or not,
boom.
and then it was like shut that drop mic, shut that down.
Okay, I'll drop the mic
Yeah. These are the voyages of the Resetters.
for the second half of the podcast.
Oh man,
Greetings, Earthlings.
I'd absolutely love. I mean, and I know this almost feels like it goes without saying, but I would absolutely love a society without bigotry. Personally,
So they called it bigotry because it means you think you're bigger than other people?
just complete silence.
Makes sense though, right?
It's one of those. That sounds like a stoner thought if I've ever heard of one. Do they call it bigotry because you think you're bigger than other people?
Okay, Rick, question. This is AMA, right?
AMA.
Ask me anything.
Oh yes, yeah, sure. Go for
Is
it.
it? Is that the format of our podcast?
I think it's pretty good for any format, like any interviewee.
I guess.
Who's the best villain in Star Trek?
Oh yeah.
Oh god,
Is
that's
it Khan?
such a hard one to do.
Is it Khan? Is it Khan? Is it Khan?
He might be a close second, eh?
Okay.
I think probably
Klingons.
I think the Borg Queen is my favorite. Alice Krieger as
Bold Queen.
the
Borg.
Borg Queen. I think
Borg.
she
Oh,
was.
from Star Trek 3 that we
First-
watched together.
First
She's
contact.
amazing.
She is, yeah. She's South African as well.
She
so
seduces
brings-
Data.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't, I'm kind of like going, why did they have to go
This
into
weird
sexual
alien
thing?
sex. Like
And-
they fuck each
And
other,
she's
right?
dead as well. I mean, like if physically she's dead, so it isn't like kind of.
So watching the film, it's like we should have put her in a robot. She fucks Data. In
I
that
mean,
film,
her
right?
body is looks like a
Didn't?
decomposing corpse.
I don't know. I think
Does
it's.
she
I think
have
she. I think
sex
she
with him?
wants to. I think she.
I'm
think
pretty
they-
sure there's a sex scene at the
I
end.
think she stimulates him.
I think they imply.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She just gives him a quiet
hairs on
handy.
his arm.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, yeah, it's implied because he's like, he's never had hairs on his skin.
Yeah.
And she's like, how's that feel? And he's like, oh my god. She's like,
No.
that's just the beginning.
Okay.
Guess what we're
So-
attaching next.
Yeah.
So they have.
Exactly. And then it cuts to the next scene. You're
he
like,
has
yeah,
he has an orgasm, but they don't have sex.
yeah.
Yeah, he
Fine.
has an
Yeah, yeah.
orgasm, but they don't have sex. He has.
He doesn't even need a penis. They can put a vagina
I think
on
that's
that.
it. Yeah.
He's actually non-binary.
And she's like, and
He's
just
a
Besides
robot.
being
He's a-
which is binary,
He's
0,
purely
1,
binary.
but they're making him non-binary.
Yeah, I know.
and she's like, just to spice things up a little bit.
Just
Yeah,
touch
yeah.
anywhere around here is
Yeah.
pretty good.
Touch anywhere, literally anywhere you've attached skin and put in a neuro interface.
'Cause
so then,
he
so then
was
he like kind of
programmed.
falls in love with her. He's like,
Yeah.
oh my god, yeah, you're right.
You
I
gave me the
should, like,
best orgasm, the only orgasm that
maybe
I've ever had in
Borgs
my
are
life.
better than humans.
That was the best sex I've ever had. He's like,
What a weird movie. Like,
Yeah, but the
A
top
robot
Borgs
having
are
sex with
sentient,
a
and then the
corpse.
other Borgs are just mindless zombies. Where
Yeah,
they're
they're
like, I
just-
don't even recognize you as enemy.
yeah. They're just trying to look the other way, just going, well, this is awkward. That Borg
Yeah.
Queen is giving a hand job to the robot over there. What are we going to
Yeah,
do? Just look
yeah.
the other way.
oh my god.
No, yeah, that's why she made them like zombies, so they wouldn't even notice when she's
Yeah.
given Data.
What
a
are we
hand job.
talking about right now?
Data getting a hand job.
This is such a weird
Because
conversation.
Data was programmed with multiple techniques, various styles of pleasure giving. It was said in the very second episode of Next Generation.
No way.
Was it really?
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
actually like a sex bot.
He's a sex
Oh
bot.
well, actually, I've been programmed with the Kama Sutra.
He's
I'm
actually really
complete,
fucking good. Yeah, it makes sense.
A dirty dog in the bedroom. I can, multiple techniques, multiple people, all the time, anytime.
He's
Hey,
a sex bot.
Rick, let me ask you though. I get it that Spock is a Vulcan and he's from this planet also called Vulcan.
Yeah.
Right. When Spock left, they got Data to be like kind of the foil replacement.
The
Yeah.
logical component.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the
But
equation,
different
yeah.
because Data's goal was to become human, whereas Spock's job was to repress the human side of him and explore logic. Whereas Data is like Pinocchio was what was told to the actor. He's kind of like Pinocchio. He wants to be a real human, but he will never be really.
So
human.
it's like
Yeah.
C-3PO just constructed one day.
No, C-3PO never desired human.
No. I mean C-3PO.
in the sense
Like
that he's an
if
android. Right?
C-3PO realized he could become human,
Oh yeah.
he'd be kind of like a Data personality.
I think it's,
I am versed in 3,000 language and
think
73
if-
and 27,000 sexual positions. But Data has an electronic dick.
Yeah. And I imagine he doesn't have any erectile problems as well because he would be perfectly programmed to,
So have there actually
It's in his
been
programming.
movies where it's implied that he has a girlfriend?
Oh, there's
like
definitely
a
a
boyfriend.
He was
whatever?
seduced. He was seduced in one of the first episodes.
well,
What? Not counting the Borg Queen, because that's like the first thing. They're like the
I
first
think
time
that
he
might
has
have been
sex, it has to be with a woman who's not really a woman.
Are we including fan fiction? Because if we're including
No,
fan
let's stay
fiction-
canon.
Okay, okay.
What the
Yeah.
money's going in?
So he slept with Tasha Yar because Tasha Yar got a virus, and then she just wanted to sleep with him, and then she was like awesome, and then afterwards she was like nothing ever happened, like.
Oh, so she had to be sick to want to sleep with him.
It was really weird because in the like it was supposed to be progressive, and they were like, and we got 3, female cast members who are all in high positions on the, because in the original series most of them were men, and in the very second episode, The Naked Now, which is a homage to an original episode, everybody in the Enterprise gets a virus, which is like being drunk. And all of the females, the 3 females, suddenly become really horny.
That's better. Okay, yeah, if they're drunk, because drunk says it kind of lets down your inhibition, so it's saying that they actually do want to fuck Data, but they've got this social kind of barrier where they're like, I can't be in an open relationship with a cyborg because I feel like I'm going to be judged.
He's the ultimate hyper-real sex toy.
I'm not human.
So are you allowed to treat him like shit then? Like the next day, you just don't text him.
Just don't call him.
Well, she kind of did.
Oh
She just kind of said, I'll say this only once. It never happened.
Is there any part of him that's human? Like, has he got like muscle brain or something?
So is that the only? Is that the
It's just
only?
C-3PO.
Is that the only interaction sexually that
No,
Data has?
he had romantic liaisons with a couple of females during the series, but it just didn't really
Only
work out.
females though.
Yeah. I mean that we know of. Yeah, but I mean this was in the 90s, and they weren't really going to explore that much in the 90s.
Yeah. So what is Data's job?
He's an operations manager, so he sits at like a console, and then he just sort of does lots of sciencey sort of scanning, but kind of like in the game, the virtual reality bridge crew game, where you're on the bridge and you're sitting at his station.
I need to play that.
You're basically sending people to damaged areas of the ship to fix certain things. So that's where it says on that part of the game. So that's more like an engineering. But so he's operations manager, but he does a lot of sciencey librarian sort of stuff. But he didn't look very good in blue, so they just put him in yellow, and then said you're the operations manager, because making him a science officer is too much like a Spock.
So there are actually, okay. The thing I picked up from that is that there is actually reasons for people to wear different colors.
Yeah. They've got division, so that's really
let's talk about
clearly
red shirts.
What are red shirts?
Well, in the original series, they're security and engineering, and then when the Next Generation came along, they changed the colors because Patrick Stewart did not look. He looked really washed out and gold, so they put him in.
Oh, because Shatner was so tanned. And
yeah. Oh, well, fake tan, yeah. And then Patrick Stewart looked really washed out in it, so they changed the command colors to maroon for command, gold,
the other guys are
gold
red.
for security and engineering, and blue for medical and sciences.
But that's why a red shirt meant you died quickly, because you're just like another engineer or another
security.
Yeah. And some of the extras who were red shirts, they actually died more than once. They were like, "Oh, should I tell them that they actually killed me last week?" No, I'll just keep it on the quiet. I just keep it on. I want to. I got kids to feed. Don't want to tell them that I died last week.
It's actually cheaper for them, and no one cares. Actually, it's cooler to see that he survived.
Yeah. He had a twin brother.
Of course, actually, because it's in the future. No, in the future though, right? They've got that. The fucking guy there. They're like, there's like a bag full of pills, and it says antidote to getting hit in the face with half the ship. Yeah. Missing 3 legs, whatever. You just fucking take that pill.
Anti-ship hitting.
Yeah. Anti-death pill. Have died within the last 25 minutes.
Well, so in the X-Men universe, they have these pods that just regen you after you die.
Your body.
Your
chuck
whole
you
body,
in there like a coffin that rebirths you.
No, they just need I don't even think they need that. They just need like a genetic code of what you were before you died. And that's kind of what I'm imagining for Star Trek.
Yeah, there might have been like sperm donors, and there was just there was several. One guy made a lot of donations, and he was very popular, and that's why like a whole lot of the red shirts look the same.
Exactly.
They were like, you know what I want to do? I want to join Starfleet, become a security officer. I might die, but
But I'd love, and I don't know if this is the case with Star Trek. I actually genuinely don't know, but I would love if they were to put things in the story as canon based off of these things that happened in previous episodes.
Oh, is that retconning, eh?
Retroactively. So, retconning things and being like, the fact that we had this one same extra die 4 episodes in a row means that there's something awry on the ship.
They were constantly trying
they're cloning the fucking workers.
Or security dies so much.
But you wouldn't do that in a utopian future, would you?
Why not?
Right. Actually,
Why
what if they said,
not?
"Hey, when you die, Devin, we'll make a new you. Is that okay?"
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
yeah, by
What-
me.
Whatever. Yeah, I'll be dead. I won't care.
I won't care that when
I'll
I'm
be the
born,
new Devin.
everybody already treats me like someone else.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
It's like, Devin, your personality is always different when I meet you. You're gonna die every fucking week.
I die a lot. What am I gonna tell you?
Yeah. One time I even went to my own funeral.
It was
and I didn't know it
weird.
was my funeral.
It was
I was
really
just
weird.
like, fucking this guy died. That sucks. And then the priest was
Sucks
like,
to be him. He must be a
Yeah,
loser. No one showed up.
yeah. And I looked in the coffin and it was me.
It was me. Star
Fucking
Trek.
hell.
So
Yeah.
we've talked a lot about Star Trek. We've spent a lot of time on Star Trek. I want to know more about you as a person. Do you have any like projects or anything going on right now?
Plug it.
Plug it.
So there's things that I'm working on which I can't not allowed to talk about, but you will find about it. Like you can't. Yeah. So I'm filming some things soon, but I can't say it because they'll never hire me again. Yeah, but they're not. But I am signed for the next 3 years to make a science fiction film. And I'm hoping, like, if this is at the end of the podcast, then none of my actor friends will listen. So they've asked me
This
to
is
cast.
at the end. If you've listened this far,
And you're
this
an
is
actor.
the
Thank you.
Easter egg for you.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're
Thank
gonna
you
get some secret information.
So I've been asked to cast 2 other of the leadish roles in it. So I'm hoping that my actor friends are not listening to this, because then I can just go work with them and see what they're like, and then just quietly, after you've done a movie or a thing with them, then or a play,
I don't get it.
and then you can go, okay, yeah, they're good. Because if you tell people, oh, I'm casting something, then they automatically act good and they're on good behavior. But I want to see.
Get to the point.
I want to see when they're. I want to see when they throw tantrums, and then I'm like, okay, cool. Okay.
Okay.
I want to see diva behavior.
So what's the thing? What's the thing you want to
What's
plug?
the thing that
What's the
Picard?
project? Yeah,
It'll be done. It'll be done in 3 years.
What is it?
It's just a science fiction film. That's all. Feature film. That's all I'm allowed to say.
Okay.
But if it's shit, it won't go anywhere, because it'll be like, well, that'll be embarrassing to enter
Okay,
into film
that's fine.
festivals. Yeah.
Okay, Rick, tell me do you know what fantasy football is?
It's probably nothing compared to the fantasy football that I am imagining.
Shh, listen.
Okay.
Do you actually know what fantasy football is?
I do.
No, shh, not you. Rick.
Not probably what you're thinking about when you think.
So fantasy football is these guys imagining having like all their favorite players playing this game, right? And so I want you to tell me your fantasy sci-fi film. You get to choose any concept and any actors, any story, and you're telling me this is the one movie, your fantasy movie that's never been made, and you've got the unlimited budget, whatever.
Of science
In your
in the
imagination.
Star Trek universe.
No,
actors?
just in your imagination.
Is it
Like,
actors or characters?
both?
Actors. Is it actors? Okay.
So you're just
Can I
like
do
tell
this
us.
after him?
Yeah, you just get to choose. I've got right now. I'm offering you the once in a lifetime deal to make a science fiction movie, but you have to give me an elevator pitch, which means you have to tell me the story concept in 30 seconds, and then I'm going to decide to give either you or Devin, let's say $500 million.
Can
to
Devin
make
do it first? Because I have no idea what I'm going to do.
you got to go first. He asked you first.
Okay, you ask me first. You do me first.
Okay, yeah.
Wait, what? I thought it was between me and him.
Yeah, but we can just split the like.
All right.
Let's say the money's coming from an exterior source, not from me.
All right, I'll split the money with you, Dan.
Okay.
No,
so-
I'm competing against you now.
I know mine's gonna be great. Mine's gonna be
I'm
so
gonna destroy you.
I don't really have any science fiction ideas at the moment.
Okay, ask me.
I mean,
first.
I'm writing something,
ask
but
me
it's not
first.
science fiction.
Ask
Okay.
me first.
What is your pitch? If I can give you $500 million, what is your pitch of anything that you can do for a feature film, web series?
My pitch is
short
this:
film?
it's like you like the movie Gladiator, right? Because you
Yeah.
see this guy go to Rome and like fight
Yeah.
all these creatures in the arena, and he's the underdog, and then he like takes over the bad guy. Whatever. It's a classic story. I want to do that in outer space and be like, humans are kidnapped and they go to this planet where they're just like the old Romans, and so you have to fight all these creatures that you can't even imagine. There's like a giant squid creature, underwater battle. There's like flying battles, and like any kind of alien you can think of, they make you fight it because they've got access. They're like Star Trek. They've got like all these different aliens, and then it's basically Gladiator. They're seeing my pitch. What do you think? Are you in? Do I get the $500 million?
Oh my god!
Congratulations, you have won the $500 million.
The
Oh my god!
the
Thank
first
you.
and last
Oh
person.
my god!
The first
yes.
and last person in the thing.
Fuck yeah! I'm gonna put you down as executive producer.
Cool. Do you know, like, I have some people who, like, you can pay money to become, just to get the IMD credit to be an executive producer. Some of the elements.
Fuck
of
man,
it
I'll
is
put you
so
down as
fake.
director if you give me $500 million.
You can have whatever credit you want.
Yeah.
Well, I have Monopoly money, so
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
just print some more out.
Okay, Devin, let's hear your one.
All right. So mine is a little bit different than yours, Dan. So mine is the Terminator teaming up with the team from Scooby-Doo to pilot the ship from Firefly straight into the Death Star. Okay. These people they're gonna take over the Death Star and befriend it. And they're not gonna destroy it like in those other movies. They're gonna get inside and they're gonna befriend every single person in there, and they're gonna make this beautiful little hippie commune inside the Death Star. And they're gonna fly around and try to befriend as many planets as they can. And that's my pitch.
You had me at Firefly.
That's my I knew
Yeah,
I
it
would.
sounds
I
like
knew I
Star
had
Trek.
a whole like demographic of people the second I'm like,
Dude, it sounds like
Oh.
fucking Star Trek. Like you want a utopia.
yeah, it's beautiful.
That's
it's a
the only
utopian-
sci-fi utopia I know.
Yeah. It's a beautiful
Every single other
utopian.
one is dystopian.
And
it's fucking crazy.
That's my pitch.
Like, if I had
I like it just for the fact that it's a fucking utopian
Yeah.
future. Which is,
Don't forget about the
utopian.
Scooby-Doo team. They're quite important to the whole plot of it. Like,
Yeah.
they
which
they
usually
figure
live
out-
in a kind of dystopian world because it seems like every week they're meeting really bad people.
Yeah. Just complete
It's
assholes.
like there's no police. They have to seem to take upon it themselves.
yeah, where are the
to
police in
solve
that series?
these fucking murders and shit.
Anyway, yeah, that's my pitch.
Okay.
Amazing.
So my pitch is not so much for a movie; it's more for an experience.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's like a hotel, and then you go there, and inside the hotel is basically it's on the Starship Enterprise, albeit a smaller version of it.
Oh, you mean love hotels?
It's kind of like
the
an-
room. Each room is a different section of the.
Yeah,
Starship
yeah, and
Enterprise?
it's like an interactive game where you basically live in the quarters and then you go to work on the bridge, and it's like a game. So instead of the virtual reality, you're pressing the buttons and little explosions and happen and things like that.
Sounds a lot like LARPing to me.
Oh, is that like LARPing but without the $500 million, right?
No, you don't need $500 million to LARP. I used to LARP for
Yeah.
like free.
Kind
What the fuck
of
is
similar thing.
LARPing?
That's kind of, yeah. So basically, it is, but
Live
except,
action role playing.
yeah.
What?
Live action role playing, where you go
Like what?
into a scenario or like a place, and you act like you're living in a fantasy.
Oh, like you have a
world.
sword fight with your
yeah,
friend.
like
Yeah.
sword fighting with your friends.
Yeah.
yeah.
But like taken to the extreme.
Yeah. You agree that you might hurt each other.
Like no, you're taking.
Oh,
you're taking score.
what are those festivals they have?
LARPing festivals?
No, there's a cooler name than that. Renaissance fairs.
Renaissance fairs.
Is that LARPing?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say that's.
This sounds exactly
LARPing.
like that.
But I mean,
Yeah.
like it's that.
You're
but-
live. Everyone's like, "Hey,
Yeah, yeah,
we're in the 14th century,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
this is good ale.
funny
Have you
enough,
tried the
yeah.
mead?"
Funny enough, I have actually seen people. I've seen people do the thing where they dress up like Star Trek characters and go to a Renaissance festival and are acting like.
Oh, and they're fucking
Yeah.
time
yeah,
traveling.
they're acting like they're time traveling. I've seen that.
No way.
I've seen that in
Oh,
person.
Rick, that would be so your thing.
And
man.
there-
I see you
well,
doing that.
I mean, there are jobs out there where you can do that. Like at Motat, they're wanting a Victorian sort of like police officer where you're walking around in character and you're getting paid. So
Oh,
at that
'cause, yeah,
point,
you're an actor as well.
at
as
that point, it's like,
head of
cool.
the-
Where's my money? I need to.
I
pay
should
my
have
rent.
mentioned that really. That you're not just head of Star Trek Fans Club New Zealand.
Former, yeah.
You're also an actor,
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
actor.
Acted in many
Thespian.
films.
Yeah, and science fiction ones as well, which I really like. So,
Which was
Yeah.
heavenly implied.
yeah, I mean, so I'm kind of doing it anyway. The last thing I want to do is do LARPing because it's like, oh god, it's like I'm here but I'm not getting paid.
so much. LARPing is for the passion.
I still like doing it. I still like sitting in the cockpit pressing buttons.
Do you do it?
What? LARP?
Yeah.
I haven't since I've moved here, but I used to a lot back home.
Tell me what you did. Tell me.
I used to play a dystopian, dystopian future version where you go into the woods for 3 days.
Oh, whoa! You
with, like,
set yourself a real adventure.
With like 150 other people.
What?
And there were like attacks at nighttime and
Oh, fuck.
like a full out world that you were living in, and you were in that world. Like you were fully in that
Whoa.
world for 3 days.
They were kind of they're filming a zombie reality TV show in Auckland where they were looking for people to dress up as zombies wandering around.
Yeah.
And so they're jobs that you can do that you can get paid but except you'd be in a forest in the middle of the night being really cold and
I
stuff.
think
but you
sounds
can
like
still,
Devin will love that.
Yeah.
But that's cool. I mean,
I'd do it.
being a zombie, I mean, it's not like you have to learn a whole lot of dialogue. It's just like, meh, brains, and then that's about it.
I think it's a bit more than brains, but
Well, that's if you're even saying anything. It's like, lots of growls and wearing makeup and being cold.
We're gonna wrap this up soon, aren't we?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm feeling the liquor store calling me right now. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if YouTube blocks us if I just put the Star Trek theme in the background while we chat.
I think it will. I think it definitely will.
But it might just take the money from it, which I don't care about.
Do you get money from this? Wait, hold up.
No.
Wait. Okay.
No, I mean,
The secret comes out.
Demonetize.
Yeah. We'll demonetize every single one of our podcasts.
I don't know if YouTube is going to block this, but to me, this is legit the worst song ever made.
Oh my god.
And it's called Star Trekkin' by The Firm.
Star Trekkin' by The Firm. Look it up,
And-
everybody. Go to your
I'm
I'm
local
going to play it
Spotify.
right now. They might block it. Oh,
The theme song to Enterprise is the worst
No, this
music.
this is the worst song ever.
Trekking across the universe.
On the Starship Enterprise under Captain Kirk.
Star trekking across the universe.
Oh my god.
Slowly going forward.
Have you heard that before?
I loved it in the 80s.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
There's actually a lot of better shit. There's like Leonard Nimoy doing reggae and stuff, but this is this does not
There's
add any
Klingons on
value
the Starbridge
to.
now.
That does not
Leonard-
add any value to Star Trek for me.
Leonard Nimoy released an album in the 70s, and he did really good music stuff. But it's very dated, of course. But that's the thing that I love about it.
Don't support that song. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's all right. I like it.
That's all.
I don't like the theme song to Enterprise. I just can't stand it. It's been a long road getting from there to here. It's been a long time, but my time is finally near.
I didn't expect the singing. That was
I
beautiful.
believe my dream will come alive at last. I will touch the sky. It's really that bad. But except Russell Watson sings it better.
This
You
is Leonard
painted up your lips and
Leonard
rolled and
Nimoy's
curled
doing
your tinted
country.
hair.
Oh, this is beautiful. This slaps.
Ruby, are you contemplating going out somewhere?
Oh, is that Leonard Nimoy? Oh my god, I haven't
This
heard that.
slaps.
Shadows on
Yeah, but this is the
wall
cover,
tell me
right?
the sun is
Of,
going down.
No country singer.
All right. Well, I think we're
Yeah.
coming to a point where we can wrap things up. I mean, I'm feeling pretty good about this podcast. I quite like the knowledge we got dropped and the banter that got
Too
got
much
held.
information.
That was great. It was
Cool.
just the right amount of information.
Thank you so much for having me on. It was
Hey,
so
thank
wonderful
you,
to
man.
Yeah.
come hang out with you guys.
Is there any
Yeah.
quick end of the thing plugs you want to do?
Yeah, if you're a Star Trek fan living in Auckland, go on to our Star Trek meetup page, Star Trek Fans New Zealand, and then you can find out when the next meetings are. We do monthly meetings.
I have been to one before, and it was fun.
Nice.
Cool,
We'll hang
thank
out.
you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we watched Star Trek in a cool environment with cool people.
Who also enjoy Star Trek?
Yeah.
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 And then we had a barbecue afterwards.
Yeah. And sometimes we
Just
have
in
drinks.
the park. It's like next to a park in Auckland. So
Yeah, it's pretty
By
pretty
the
chill.
beach.
We're pretty
Yeah,
relaxed.
it was real chill. Everyone's
Got
just like
people
hanging
from
out.
all backgrounds. Lots of people like different shows, and we all get on fine.
Well, this is one of those things that brings people from different backgrounds together. 'Cause,
Yeah.
it's-
Yeah.
But that's the whole point of
Yes.
a utopia, right? It's like everyone's included.
Yeah.
So
We
It's
just-
almost like the show works.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like some of us take on the Star Trek philosophy in our life, and we
Yeah.
try to act
Yeah.
that way. So
let's
we
make
don't.
a show that appeals to everybody.
Yeah,
And then you guys are like, let's act like that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like it
let's
kind of
be-
is. Yeah,
Let's
Yeah.
personify that and make it happen.
Yeah. That's why you really love Star Trek, because you want that fucking world to exist.
Yeah,
Where you're
and-
not
and-
bullied into the library and
Yeah.
or being told to not be who you are, because
Yeah.
everyone's just encouraged to.
to be themselves and to tolerate each other and
Yeah.
Boom.
and celebrate each other's diversity, which was a core Vulcan philosophy: infinite diversity and
Mm.
infinite combinations. The beauty
Right,
of
yeah.
the beauty of the diversity within us, not the beauty of the sameness and how we're all trying to be the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
It's-
That's right.
yeah, and that was the '60s philosophy. So it was very, very
Yeah.
diversity as a a word that's thrown around a lot.
Yeah,
but
otherwise
it
there'd be
came
no
very, very
evolution.
long time ago.
Anyway, if there
Yeah.
wasn't divergence,
Yeah, yeah.
then difference.
Just celebrating that diversity, and that's what we do in our Star Trek meetings.
I love it. As much as you can, you have to ask yourself, what would Spock do?
What would Spock do?
What would Spock do?
He would go
Is
to
that
a
the name of
barbecue.
this podcast now? What would Spock
do? Can be. Yeah.
So thank you so much again. It was
Yeah.
so awesome to
Thank
come
you,
and hang
Rick.
out with you guys.
It's good. It's good.
It's good.
And
Was it good, Jim?
It was good.
the ultimate
Okay.
phrase.
So instead of saying "beam me up," you say now "beam me down."
Pay me
So
down.
I'm leaving the starship ship.
And
Star
that
Trek
yes. So beam me down because I intend to live long and
and
prosper.
prosper.
Yeah.